Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome back. I am making sure I'm live here. I see a couple people are already there. Hi, hello. Let me check my lighting. We're good. We're doing it. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. For those of you who are here, just say hello in the comments. Hi. So this is day 3, video 3, class 3. Well, video 4 actually, but class 3 in the Take a Leap series that we're doing. Take a Leap series 2022. It's been a good time. It's been really, really lovely. Hey, Kathy, it's been really lovely to have this experience with you guys. So I'm so glad you've made it to the 3rd video. Good morning. So glad you're here. I hope you've had the opportunity over this video series to help you liberate, initiate, and today we activate. By the way, my name is Maria Aleandra, and in my channel and in the work that I do, I like to support you in activating a mindset of possibilities, in dialing into your own magic and the magic in the world, and also into stepping into momentum so that you can put all the pieces together and actually go out in the world and create the beautiful, wondrous things that I know you want to create. I'm so glad that you've been enjoying this. It's been a real pleasure to create it. So a couple of housekeeping items. If you haven't yet watched the first videos in the series, they're going to be linked below. And if you haven't accessed your downloadable printable, the link is also going to be below. I'm looking here on the side on this sheet because I created this multi-page sheet to help you go day by day, reflect on each of the videos, and have a little bit of an opportunity to actually pour your own inner wisdom and inner sparks of magic and possibility into the sheets. So let's get right into it. How I like to break these videos down, we're going to do the same process that we followed in the others. We're going to talk a little bit about what it means to actually activate your leap, right? To get into that activate energy. We're going to pull some oracle cards. And then at the end, we're going to do like a 5-minute energy attunement with the intention to support you in really calibrating into that activation energy for whatever project you are desiring to birth in your life, whatever new step, whatever new leap you're desiring to create, or maybe to energize something that you're already kind of been working on, but have found yourself leaving on the back burner. So today we also get to really sink into this, okay, what is the leap? And this is where momentum really creates the magic. In the initiate video, we talked about that, what it means to initiate as the symbolic gesture of opening a new door, opening a portal, this gateway of possibility for each of us. Today, I really want to encourage you to actually take a step. Like if you've been kind of sort of tiptoeing around it, today is the day. Start today. And actually, I have a poem called Start Today. I'm looking around to see where my notebook is. I don't have it with me, but I'm going to make sure that I put it in the description in case you want to read it as part of this video, because it inspires you to not delay the things that you want to create for yourself and to start today. And this is not from a place of any kind of rush or any kind of, you need to do things a certain way. This is just a way for you to give yourself permission to do the things that you want to do and to activate yourself in the way that you know is possible and to begin to experiment. So when we look at the sheet, a couple of the things that I'll invite you to sit with is, the first one is, what is the leap that I am taking? So what is the leap that you're taking? And for those of you watching, if you want to share what the leap is, and for those of you afterwards that want to put it in the comments as well, I'd love to hear. I'd love to support you with that. What is the leap that you're taking? What is that thing that that you've been, wanting to do? Or maybe something sparked brand new as you were watching these videos. That's also incredible too. Just trust whatever is coming intuitively for you, whatever energy seems to be bubbling up, and go for it. I also ask, why do you want to make this happen? A big part of the fuel, the spiritual and the mindset fuel that is going to help us to actually follow through is understanding why we're doing something. And the reason could be as simple as because I want to do something new, because I want to show myself that I can expand and explore, because I want to have a certain um, some metric that I want to achieve in my life and my business. Maybe it is a result. And also, then you get to play with the idea of looking towards a result and a goal, and also being detached from that result from the standpoint of if it doesn't work out exactly the same way you expected, to still honor the fact that it's happening and that it will work for its highest good intended. I'll use an example of even me doing this series. For me, it was a leap to start doing, I've done live things before. I've never done YouTube live. So I feel pretty comfortable with technology things, but this was new for me. So I myself took on, okay, well, where's the leap that I want to take? I'm gonna make this happen. So I set in place the things that I have to do, and then I go for it. And I know that there's certain things that happen right in the moment when you're doing it, right? Well, whoever's watching it, whoever experiences it, since I'm doing it live, whoever responds, comments, emails me later, all that stuff, right, is happening real time. But I've also been very present to the fact that I know what I'm creating here is planting seeds for other people that will watch these videos in the future. I'm planting seeds for just putting something out there that is free content that feels like a very generous way to support all of us in making something cool happen. So I'm less tied to, okay, well, what's the result right now in this moment? Where, some time ago in my life, I was very, very focused on that stuff. And then if it didn't work out the way I thought it could or should, or way I expected, I would really beat myself up over it. And I would just like feel kind of heartbroken and like I failed. I didn't do the thing I wanted to do. And when we work from the standpoint of, again, creatrix consciousness, which is a term that I coined a few years ago and have been really feeling into what is the creatrix consciousness guidance that wants to come through. It feels like very channeled information for us. It has to do with just sitting with the fact that we are constantly creating, we are constantly breathing life into ideas. So we breathe life into the ideas that sometimes will materialize in a certain result, but a lot of other times will actually build over time. And right now, we really are in the space of planting seeds for the future, which is why I also want to invite you as you activate something today to actually see it from the standpoint of I'm planting the seed, but take the action, start the momentum going. And momentum, just like as if we were starting to move some really heavy object. Imagine you're rolling like a really heavy wheel. Like starting it out is always going to feel the heaviest. Always, always, always. But then once that wheel begins to gain its own momentum, which it does, this is what happens with our projects. We continue it, we nudge it, we guide it, but we let it pick its own speed, like a snowball, right? We let it snowball into what it wants to become. And it's this balance between I always call it's like spirit and strategy, right? It's trusting our spirit, trusting our intuition, trusting spirit guiding us, and also the strategy of let me make the move, let me make the decision, let me stay the course. What can I do today to help keep this going and moving? And also trust that, especially when it comes to projects and ideas and things that we spark from a place of our imagination, which is like everything that's been created, right? I believe that each of these things has kind of a life of its own in a way. It wants to be something. And when we take enough of a step back in order to give it space to become and also to show us what it wants to show us, oftentimes we'll start something, and if we have an agenda that's really like tight, we're not allowing that very same project as a sort of living, breathing entity. Imagine it. This is like a little magical realism here. It's like a living, breathing entity. We're not allowing the project itself to show us what it wants to show us in this moment in our lives, how we are meant to grow through this. These are these sacred soul challenges that we take on. And I know these sound like, oh, like this is for big things. It's for all the things. It's for little things, it's for big things, it's all relative, you know. And it's really powerful when we see it that way, because then we practice the art of detaching ourselves also, of knowing that we birth these things into life. We nurture them, we water them, we tend to them, we want to see them grow, and also they have their own intention for existing. And it's a really beautiful space to be in, to listen with a different set of ears to see what they want to show us. So why does this leap matter to your heart, to your soul? Why does it matter? What lights you up about the leap? And again, I'm looking at the sheet itself, so when you print it out, you can have access to this. What are the 3 things that inspire me to take this leap? What are the things that inspire me to take this leap? Kathy says, creating more space for play and creativity in our home. I want to set up a space to paint and another place for sewing and crafting. So then the question is, that's so beautiful. The question is, what am I doing today? What is that symbolic first step of, okay, this is this new space, you know? And that's a beautiful example because it requires all of the steps of like liberate, clearing out a room for it. Initiating is that idea of like, yes, this is possible. What could this look like? Let me dial into the feeling. It's just like, when we're working with our manifestation muscles and we're like visualizing that space, what it looks like, or maybe it's something that we want to write, visualizing ourselves, like looking at the final piece, or it's art, or it's a video that we want to create, or it's something that we want to share with the world, or just for ourselves. Creating space in our lives for the magic that we want to see infused in. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So I keep guiding you on to like, what are some possible next steps? So once I take this leap, then we also want to start dialing ourselves and priming our mindset into understanding that this is a step by step, moment by moment experience. It starts with that leap. It starts with that like spreading of the wings, and then, okay, and then what happens next? Know that we are stretching this out and we are honoring the in between. That's one thing that I think we're really being invited to integrate, is the fact that there's the spark of something, there's the when it comes to fruition, when that comes into form, and there's the in between. And even when it comes into form, it can keep evolving, it will keep evolving, but that in between, I think a lot of ways we've been conditioned in, because now we're in such a instant gratification. Everything has to be fast. Everything has to be like, with between social media and just everything, it's like so fast. We've basically like shrunk that sacred space in between, the spark and the form. It's almost like non-existent. Like feel into that and think about in your own world, in your own life, where that might be the case, that you're not even honoring that sacred space in between. That is the gardening of it, right? That is the space where the seed is literally like under the ground, and it's taking its time to emerge, to become the form. We've been conditioned to kind of truncate that and to just like it doesn't even exist. And so we want to go from idea to making it happen. And then if it doesn't happen fast enough, then we're hard on ourselves. We feel like we failed. We feel like, see, there I go again. I didn't do the thing I wanted to do. So it's a combination of how do we maintain ourselves? How do we keep our sense of momentum? And how do we honor that space of the actual thing being created? And what are we doing in that space in between? How are we carving out both the patience necessary to see it come to fruition, and also that sense of possibility, that like jumping into the thing itself? So I hope that's making sense, and that you can see in your own life where that might be showing up and where there's an opportunity to shift that into a different kind of mindset around how you do the things you do. I also ask, what will it take from me to take this leap? What will it take from me? This can cover both practical things, Like, while it will take carving out, maybe an hour of my time this day, it will take me getting a couple of materials together. It will take me asking for some support so that I can have time to make this happen. Support that you deserve, support that we all deserve. That's something else that's huge about recalibrating our sense of what's possible for us, not knowing that we don't have to do it all by ourselves, and where we might not be opening ourselves up to support. And everybody has a different experience with this, and we all have our own journey with receiving support. Trust me, I know. I'm living it every day. And you know, I've also come to see the great value when I do ask for the support to carve out time for myself, how that then amplifies everything in my life. And that when I push back on the space for me, and I don't honor the boundary of not losing myself in wherever process or situation I'm in, when I honor not losing myself, I am so much more nourished and resilient and capable of showing up for everybody. But it starts with me declaring that this matters, that I get to honor myself in the process. So think about this whole leap thing as also an exercise in honoring yourself. In the initiate stage, we talked a lot about that permission. Permission. So this is about honoring yourself, your space, your ideas, the ways that you want to stretch, the ways that you want to tap into the unknown, the ways that you want to expand your magic, and knowing that not only are you fully worth it, and you get to give yourself permission to do that, but that it is always possible to find in some way, some support. Maybe sometimes when we're in situations in life where it feels like I have no support, I'm doing it all myself, this is not even possible, I invite you to at least be willing to be open to some idea that might come around what that could look like for you. Because I'm a firm believer that then once you dial into that, well, let me see, how could this be possible? Am I even willing to entertain that it's possible for me to have that support in place? Then we're actually opening up for the literal molecules in the universe to move for us and to create something new. But if we're too tied to the idea that, nope, see, I don't have support, I have to do it all myself, then we're gripping onto that. We're not letting it go. So I'm getting ready to pull some cards here. And the last question that's on this sheet that I think is one of the really beautiful invitations is to think about how I will evolve beyond this leap. How will I transform? How will I evolve? I already had a card that came out. How will I evolve? How will I transform? How will I, it's like, what part of me will shift because of this? And in that, honoring the fact that it could feel really scary, again, the butterflies in your stomach. But butterflies are such a beautiful metaphor. We use them like butterflies in your stomach when you're doing something that makes you a little nervous, and also the metamorphosis of the butterfly itself. The butterfly is so daring. It literally transforms its whole self. And it is a process that is just absolutely divine. And when that caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, it's fascinating. You may not know, but the caterpillar essentially turns into mush. It completely disintegrates into this just mush. I don't know what the name of it is called, but there's a name for it. It's mush. It doesn't even have a form anymore. It's formless. And then it literally like reintegrates itself to create, as my phone rings, to create one of the most beautiful forms. I love the emojis, the most beautiful form. It literally goes from like caterpillar eating all this grass to then into the chrysalis, absolute mush, formless, nothing, to reintegrate itself into one of the most magnificently beautiful forms in nature. It's breathtaking. It is breathtaking. And then it starts to crack open that chrysalis and tenderly begin to stretch its wings. And if you've ever seen a butterfly through that metamorphosis process, it has a couple days when it's just kind of like, just there. It's tender. It's like, gotta let it just, as its wings begin to essentially strengthen and harden, and then it can fly. Then it can fly. All right, so let me show you the beautiful cards that I pulled. This deck is called the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. So one we've been using for every class in the series. The first card is fulfillment. Fulfillment. It's that juicy peach, that beautiful fulfillment. Whew. Dial into the fulfillment of just at least taking a step in a direction that I maybe wasn't expecting to. Feeling whole even with the attempt, not waiting for the thing to be a certain way for me to feel whole, but feeling whole just because I tried. It breeds something else in you. You're not depending on a result. You're not depending on how it will look, or you're not depending on how will others perceive this. It is just the act of creation itself. Not just the thinking of it. That's the first place that things get created, but the actual putting it into form. That's the leap. That's the activating. And then the other card. I mean, obviously this brings me back to the first step to liberate, where we're purifying ourselves. This also makes me think about the Virgo energy that we're in as of this recording, that is encoded into this series, which is very deliberate. I wanted to encode this series with Virgo energy because Virgo energy is that sacred space of day-to-day service. It's that space of, this is what I do moment by moment that helps me keep my life going. It is the the archetype of the healer. It's the archetype of purification. It's the archetype of reorganizing your life and creating new processes. So I thought, how magnificent as a backbone to support the leaps we're taking, to do it with this energy. And purification also in the sense of your own purity, your own sense of who you are, without all the filters on top. That's also what we've been really like. The astrology has been bringing us deeper into our values, recalibrating our values. We've talked about Uranus helping us go from the conditioned self to the self we were created to be. I mean, it's amazing, right? So fulfillment and purification. I love that. Absolutely love that. Before we get into the energy attunement, I wanted to invite you to something that I created today. Well, literally came into mind today. I'm going to bring it into form, but I'm going to have a link below for you to explore more information. It's either going to be a group experience where we're going to take a leap together, where I'm going to take you through 3 steps, about 6 weeks probably, or it's going to be a one-on-one experience for us to do it together. I don't know what it's going to look like exactly just yet. I'm just putting it out there in the world, and I'm getting chills as I say this. So that's my like one of my tells that it's something good. And I'm also challenging myself to create something new here. And it's based on all of the information that I've been able to collect over the past few years of me coaching a whole bunch of people into doing really marvelous things in their life that they weren't expecting they could do. And I'm really good at it. And I want to help more people take steps in that direction and make some really cool, magical things happen in their lives. So I'm putting it out there. The links will be somewhere here in case you're interested in exploring that further, because I think that's going to be really cool, especially as I'll just leave it there. If it feels good, just check it out. So now let's move into our energy attunement. Again, if it's safe for you to do so, if you're not driving, go ahead and begin to close your eyes. Just taking nice, gentle breaths here. I'm feeling into a lot of this beautiful energy that we've just built up here, which is so good. My invitation is that after you complete this particular video, if you can actually go and take a step related to the leap you're taking to move yourself in that direction, tell yourself, I know, I go. Make something happen. You don't have to hustle your way through it. You just have to be in that creation space, that activation space. Breathing into the fact that you've been here, that you've completed this class series, that you've honored your time, that you've honored the space of your own sparks of new things to come. You're probably hearing my 5-year-old in the background. He always teaches me about activating energy. And we welcome life in all its forms. We welcome life. We welcome all the circumstances around us, and we know that anything in our life is here to support us, not to hurt us. And there are certain challenges and things in life that we'll have to move through in order to get to our next beautiful levels and chapters of our own evolutionary growth. But everything is placed in our lives because our souls have chosen these circumstances to grow through them. And we then get to recalibrate into, okay, how do I move through this in a way that is for the highest good for myself and everybody involved? Life is happening around us. Life is happening, and we still get to create and activate. We activate our dreams. We activate our imagination. We activate those goals that sometimes lie dormant in our journals and in our waking hours and sleeping hours. We activate our sense of discovery and exploration. We activate our sense of possibility. We activate our grace. We activate our patience. We activate our joy. Even if we're experiencing deep sorrow, know that there's always, always a light on inside your soul. Always, always, always. And if you find yourself in a very tender space as you listen to this, tend to that light. And maybe the one thing that you can do to spark some more magic in your life is a very simple tuning back in to that little tiny light of joy within your soul. Allow it to radiate, allow it to expand, allow it to know that it is safe. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to dwell in possibility. It is safe to believe. It is safe to breathe in deeply, to take in the sun, to take in the rain. It is safe to put your hands in the dirt. It is safe to garden your own new dreams. Let's activate those new dreams. Let's activate those new possibilities. Let's activate the love in our hearts. Activate the service to others around us. Let's activate the boundaries and the tender spaces where we get to declare who we are, untethered from other people's expectations, from other people's energy, while we still live with them. Let's activate our own rhythm. Let's activate our self-worth. Let's activate our confidence. Let's activate our trust in ourselves. I activate my trust in myself. I activate my trust in myself. I activate my trust in myself. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Oh, you can open your eyes. So good. Let me leave you with a quote. I believe this is from a book. I know it's by Erin Hansen. It says, "There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly?" And with that, I say thank you for joining this Take a Leap experience. I hope it served and nourished you in some way. I hope you share it with your friends, and I hope that you keep following along on this beautiful journey of life and magic and love and wonder and hope and sorrow and joy and all the things. Be well. Let me know in the comments below how you enjoyed this experience. You are so, so, so welcome. And yeah, I'll see you around. Mwah. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, send me an email, tell me how you liked it, and we'll be in touch. All right. Mwah. Be well, my friends. Adios.